What's up, guys? Zaid here, and today we're going to be discussing the Forbidden and Limited list for October 2021 that just dropped. I see people do these type of videos like a live reaction kind of thing. I've already seen the cards. At this point, you've probably already seen the cards. If this is your first time and that's not the type of video you want, too bad. I guess go watch Simo's video. But instead, I have them laid out on dueling book little lists, and I just kind of want to talk about my inherent thoughts on it. And to start off with the banned cards, only one card got banned, which is Zodiac Barrage. And the cool thing too is on Dueling Book, it's not updated yet, so you could see what the card was previously at. And Barrage was at 1, and I didn't personally really feel like this was that much of a problem card. It did definitely not feel great when your opponent resolved it on you, but at the end of the day, I didn't feel like it was like ruining the game. Pure Zoo is not played that much, and Tri Zoo it is a good extender for, but I don't think it's bad for the deck to have a one of extender that's pretty good. So I don't like agree or disagree with this hit. I don't really think it needed to go, but I'm also not upset that it's gone. I'm going to move on to the limited section. There's 3 hits. Eva got hit to 1, which was previously at 3. Tanky, which was also previously at 3, got hit to 1. And then Meow Meow got hit to 1. A lot of people were saying this one, that Tanky could get hit to 1. I didn't really want it to. I kind of like search cards like this. I want Rhoda back to 2 or 3. And the fact that Tanky went down to 1 kind of makes me feel like that's not going to happen anytime soon. And then Eva feels like a decent hit. Like, it makes it so that the Drytron's end board isn't like batshit crazy. The Eva typically ensures 2 negates by sending it on your turn with Beatrice and having 2 discard outlets for the ultimateness. But then on your opponent's standby, or when they commit a monster, if you're afraid of Gamma for some reason, even though you have the Herald to negate it, you would get to send an Eva from deck again, get 2 more. And so not having that as an option in that deck kind of makes your end board a little weaker. But there were already lists that were cutting to 1 of this anyways, because it is like inconsistent sometimes in multiples. Like, you don't want to open this card that often, and you definitely don't want to open 2. So there was already like a case to be playing 1. Now you just have to play 1. So I don't think it'll hurt the deck that much, but it was a fine hit. And then Meow Meow to 1 is along the same lines where it doesn't kill the deck by any means. Like, if this card would have got banned, the deck would have been in fucking trouble. But at 1, it just makes your turn 3 play a little more awkward. And if you normal prank Link Summon into Meow Meow and it gets ashed, that also is a little more awkward. So I feel like this going to 1 is going to make you have to play a little less hand traps and like board breaker type cards and play more extending type cards, because you're not going to have a follow-up anymore if your first prank kid gets ashed and then your opponent attacks over the Meow Meow and then they like pass to you. Even if you hand trap them and they don't have a crazy board, if all you have is one more prank kid, you don't have the poly, then you're not able to play the game still. And so you're going to have to find new extenders to play, or just bring back some of the old extenders. Maybe Parallel Exceed becomes a staple because you really need that first prank kid to resolve. But no matter what, it's going to change the combos a little bit turn 3 and onward, but the deck still has a 1-card engine to start with, and so I think this is a pretty fair hit. Also, before I get into the semi-limit and the unlimited, those are mainly cards that were just brought back. A lot of things didn't really get hit to 2, I don't think. Let me go to it real quick and check. Yeah, so things that were at 1 just came to 2. And I've seen a lot of people calling this the worst ban list ever. I think that's honestly a really dumb thing to say. I feel like, at least by my definition of the worst ban list, I feel like the worst ban list would be a ban list that makes the game unfun or unhealthy. But we were already in a spot where damn near anyone you ask, meta and non-meta players alike, would tell you that this is a good, healthy format where a lot of different decks are viable. Even if a lot of decks aren't tier 1, there's still like a solid 4 or 5 tier 1 to 2 decks you can pick from. And all the rogue contenders can actually compete, at least at a local level. And like, we haven't really had regionals and stuff, but I feel as if a lot of the non-meta decks could even compete at a regional level. And so to call a ban list that didn't hit a lot in a very good format a bad list seems wrong to me. I think the list is fine. It brought us back, like we see right here, some cards that don't really need to be at 1 anymore. Nessie, Skulker Joker, and E-Telly. E-Telly's played in some virtual world builds. I don't even think every player plays it, But at 2, they probably will all play it. Dangers see no play right now, and Pendulum sucks. Like, giving us these cards back is fine. And all the cards that got hit didn't kill the decks. Plus, a lot of them have support coming out. Like, let me go back to the limited. The not prank kit, the Tanky that got hit. Tanky going to 1 and Barrage going to 0 makes the Zodiac Tri-Brigade deck not as viable of an option. I feel like people will probably go back to like Rescue Cat or something. But or the Ancient Warrior build, although actually I think that relied on Tanky too. But there's other builds that are going to possibly become more relevant here soon. Like there's that Melfi one. I don't know if they get any support, but that's a neat list to mention and a way you could play it. They have Obedience Schooled as another power card to replace something like this. But then there's also the Bird Up version, and Leerlusks are getting a lot of support coming up soon. Which I believe a lot of them, I think they're all Wing Beasts actually. I was going to say maybe they're Beast Warriors and searchable by this, but I don't think they are. I think they're all Wing Beasts. They're birds. They're probably Wing Beasts. But that deck is coming out with more support, which could see its way into Tri-Brigade lists. This also just like makes us have to think of more engines to try besides Zoo, but also lets the Zoo engine still be viable. Like there's still one card, the Rat itself is still a one card Ferrijit, and then all of them are a one card Zeus going second, which is very powerful and very good in the post turn 1. And so this list, I don't think it needed to be crazy. I'm personally happy it wasn't. And then just the only unbanned card, Double Iris. This card's been at 2, deck's still doing nothing. And so my thoughts on the list overall is that if you wanted to call this one of the least impactful ban lists, I think that terminology would better fit. But to refer to it as a bad list is kind of just inaccurate to me. I think that it took a healthy format and just checked a couple things, and it's going to continue to be a healthy format. But now a lot of those rogue decks that already were competing can compete at a higher level. Like Dogmatica variants, for example. The Nadir's Servant's a very powerful card, yet it's not in a tier 1 deck right now. But with 2 of the best decks being hindered, 3 of the best decks being hindered, it could be better. Also, an interesting thing is that Virtual World actually got a little better, where a lot of the other top contenders got neutered a tiny bit. Its consistency, well, it only goes up a minute amount with an E-Telly. The fact that the other decks also get brought down might put them around the same level. And so, yeah, overall, I like the list. I'm going to call it a good list. I think it did exactly what it needed to do. Make other decks a little more viable, make the best decks a little less viable. Make us have to reconsider how we're deck building and prevent the format from getting stale while we wait a few weeks for the upcoming sets. So, if you guys enjoyed my take on the ban list, let me know in the comments below. And if you didn't, either you didn't enjoy it or you just enjoyed it but disagreed with it. Regardless, let me know what you think. Do you think that like more should have been unbanned, more should have been banned? What decks did you want to see support come off the list for? Like, there's a lot that we could talk about this, and I'm down to have the conversation. So basically anything ban list related, let me know in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll be putting out more ban list related content over the next few days. Thank you for watching.